right, everybody, we're back. Long anticipated wait. Entertainment, unlimited characters. We're back with another episode, y'all. It's been a wild last month and a half. Went on my honeymoon, was out of the country for like 2.5 weeks. Went on a couple of work trips for my regular job. Air conditioner blew out at the house. So it was way too hot in here to be trying to record a podcast. I would have been sweating. Would have been looking a lot of sweat marks all up in the Bears area right here. But we're back now, man, and it kind of goes right in hand with the Chicago Bears. Because let me tell y'all, the Chicago Bears, no, I do not want to install a Windows update. But like I was trying to say, the Bears are back, baby. For those of you guys that don't know, we've already had 2 preseason games. Hall of Fame game doesn't count. But last week, second game of the preseason, our savior, the guy coming to save the Bears, Caleb Williams, made his NFL debut. It was the preseason, but he looked the part. He was playing right out there. 4 of 7. He only played 20 snaps. But, man, if you don't catch those highlights, go on YouTube, pause the video right now, catch those Caleb Williams highlights, man. He looks like the truth. He was 4 of 7, 95 yards. The 2 drives he was on, we only ended up with field goals. But, that's not really a big deal in the preseason. You more or less want to see what he's looking like. And pause, he's looking good, y'all. I don't know how else to say it. Came out impressive, great, fantastic, whatever you want to say. And I know last year there was so much talk, man. Do we get rid of Justin Fields? Are we not giving Justin Fields enough? I think it's safe to say, especially after Fields just played with the Steelers the other day, we made the right choice, y'all. And Fields, unfortunately, just doesn't look like he's ready. He's still doing the same shit where he's double pumping, where he's losing snaps, where he's fumbling the ball, too late to hold on to the ball and doesn't get rid of the ball. And Caleb Williams just looks like the complete opposite, man. So just off the eye test alone, I think we're in the clear, Chicago. I don't even want to jinx it, knock on wood. But, man, bro, I think we finally got one of them ones. We finally got a real franchise quarterback. And, you take a look at some of his plays. He hit DJ Moore on a 12-yard first down, and he hit him just like with a laser. I'm watching it over here on this other side. Make sure I don't think you could hear it. But just throwing darts, man. These are throws that obviously you got to make in the NFL, but when you're that guy, you make them. You don't miss them. You don't have a reason. The offense is too complicated for me. None of that type of stuff. He had a crazy play to DeAndre Swift, literally Patrick Mahomes-esque. He's about to get sacked. You don't even see it, kind of like a no-look, little shovel from the mid area right to Swift. Swift went out, got 42 yards off that play. And, in just a Caleb like S type of play, I'm getting stuck watching the highlights over here. In a perfect Caleb Williams type of play, he hit Cole Kmet going across his body, just right on time, right in sync. And those are the type of plays that just give you an insight of why everybody in Chicago, why everybody in the NFL alone is just geeked up, excited. And if this is any preview of what we're going to get this season, it's going to be probably the most entertaining Bears season in a very long time. When's the last time we made it to the conference final or the conference championship had it been like 2012. Last time we made it to the Super Bowl was 2007. Last time we won the Super Bowl was in 1985. 8 years before I was even born, y'all. So it's an understatement to say Chicago Bears are back, y'all. That's how we're rocking it right now. I was going to rock the Steph Curry USA jersey. Going to get into that later. It's a little dirty. Wore it camping this weekend, but we're back right here. Chicago Bears. It's go time, y'all. I mean, we're only a couple of weeks away from the regular season opener. It's going to be September 8th against the Tennessee Titans, a 12 o'clock game. Tennessee going to be looking completely different this year. No more Derrick Henry. They got Will Levis now starting at quarterback, so Tannehill era is over. So, it's a brand new team. Bears pretty much, very similar. Not necessarily a turnover on the roster, but a ton of new additions. You got Swift. We added even Mercedes Lewis. We got Keenan Allen. We drafted Rome Odunze. Obviously, we drafted Caleb Williams. So a lot of new players at key positions. DeAndre Swift is going to be key for us, even though he only played a few snaps, but I think that's what you expect when that's probably going to be our workhorse, probably the guy that's going to get the ball the most. Roschon Johnson didn't play at all. He's on the injury report. Khalil Herbert got the majority of the snaps. I think he's going to be a nice weapon too. And, man, we honestly, for the first time in, Chicago Bears history, we got weapons galore, y'all. We actually have a variety of people to throw the ball to. For everybody that's been here forever, I know you remember the Marty Bookers. I know you remember the Johnny Knoxes. I know you remember those types of guys, but I think now we finally got a number one, maybe two number one receivers, like legitimately. Brandon Marshall, no doubt, but he was on his own. Now we got Keenan Allen and DJ Moore and Rome Odunze as your third option, and he's only going to be there to build with Caleb. And it finally, man, it looks like, guys, our prayers have been answered. We might finally have a chance to actually do something. Our offense has finally entered the 21st century. And it looks like we're not messing around, man. Honestly, Ryan Poles has made a ton of great decisions. Seems like all the moves he's making seem to be the right moves. There was a poll that came out last week where I think it was amongst NFL executives. He was voted like the second best in terms of grading his decisions and the signings and all that stuff, the trades that they've made. I mean, you think looking back, man, they were talking about that as well. When we traded the number one pick to Carolina, that might go down as the best trade in NFL, maybe American sports history. We've turned that one pick into Caleb Williams, into Rome Odunze, into pretty much everything that we've gotten right now. And we still have a little bit more to reap out of that. Plus, we got DJ Moore. So that's honestly insane. We pretty much traded the number one pick, which turned out to be Bryce Young, for Caleb Williams and DJ Moore and a few other picks. So far, so good. I'm sure everybody in Carolina, you got to be feeling sick. They could be having Caleb Williams on their team this year. Bryce Young, no doubt, probably going to be a decent NFL player, but he ain't going to be no Caleb Williams guy. So it's just coming down to the fact that how do we even appreciate this? How do I even go about being a fan of a good football team? I have no idea. A team that has expectations, no idea how to deal with that. The expectations for the Bears every year has been like, when are they going to mess this up? When are they going to show their true colors? And it's because we never have like a leader at quarterback. Jay Cutler, great quarterback in his own right. I don't think he made any Pro Bowls or anything like that under the Bears. And he kind of always had that little smug look on his face, like he didn't really care. Football was kind of his thing to make money, which we could totally be wrong, but that's the way it looked on TV. We all remember the NFC Championship against the Packers, I'm pretty sure it was, and he was just on his bike, riding the bike. He didn't go back in the game. And I know everybody always said he was a tough guy and all that, but it still, till this day, doesn't make sense to me how your knee's messed up. You can't go back in the game, but you're riding the bike, Jay. You're riding the bike. But now we got Caleb, man. And that's the thing, too, you're hearing about is how much should he really be playing right now in the preseason? You know, he played 20 snaps the other day. He looked good. Is that enough for them now? Are they going to maybe trot him out there a couple more times? I get the point necessarily trying to save his health, but, you know, he's still got to play. He's a rookie. He's got to get acclimated to what's going on. He's got to build that timing. If they want to make the most out of this season and not waste the first couple of weeks trying to do that stuff, then you definitely want to get him into the game. And it's just opening the eyes to, you know, a whole nother possibility of what the Bears could be, not only this year, but these next couple of years. Our division is absolutely loaded and stacked right now. For those of you guys that already forgot, the Lions were the Lions are up by like 20, over 21 points going into the fourth quarter against the Niners. They blew that. They should have been in the Super Bowl. The Packers look like a complete different team to end the season. We remember they went into Dallas, destroyed them. They put up a pretty good game against the Niners before they went home, and that's just Jordan Love's first full season as a starter. The Vikings, they got a pretty talented receiving core themselves. They got Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and right now they drafted J.J. McCarthy. Looks like Sam Darnold is going to be the starter. And I was taking a look. They didn't do too bad, guys. Vikings always are going to put up a fight, man. And especially with Kevin O'Connell at coach, it doesn't matter. Maybe Sam Darnold has a resurgence. Now I can't find what I was looking for. But, yeah, you know, Sam Darnold, a lot of people had him pretty highly touted coming out of USC. He ended up with the Jets, which we know they're kind of a dumpster fire. Then he ended up in Carolina. So he went from like one dumpster fire to like, this fire got put out. Boom, right into another dumpster fire. So you can't necessarily blame him for what's happened in his career. Somebody's got to take the blame. So he's got some of it. But he came out pretty nice too against, who were they playing against? Against the Raiders. So let's take a look. Sam Darnold, 4 for 8, 59 yards. So looking solid. Then they brought in J.J. McCarthy. he's going to get a ton of playing time. He needs the reps as far as actually throwing the ball. Michigan, he handed the ball off a lot, and they don't have anybody like that. Minnesota, no chance. But J.J. McCarthy, 11 of 17, 188 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. So, Vikings, man, they're always going to be tough too. And NFC North, pretty much any division, those games you're scratching and clawing to try to get that dub. So Bears have it in for that. It's going to be tough. We're playing against the AFC South. AFC South kind of like not necessarily stacked, but they always play hard. You got the Jaguars, you got the Texans, you got the Titans in there, you got the Colts in there. So you got a lot of teams that no matter what, they're going to be putting up a fight. Nobody's just going to be laying down. Texans, it'll be cool to see week 2 how we stack up against them, how well they look again this year after their kind of little run they made last year with C.J. Stroud during his rookie year. But no doubt, I'm pumped up, guys. I'm not going to get the Caleb Williams jersey just yet. Let me know what week it's safe to go out and buy it, at what stats. I did have a friend that said that if you're over 30, which I'm 30, going to be 31 by the time the season starts, that you're not supposed to buy jerseys of players that are younger than you. So I don't believe that. Let me know what you think. Do you still buy jerseys? Does it matter if they're older than you? Does it matter if they're younger than you? Tell me what you think, because I think I'm going to buy whatever I want, and I think I'm going to rock the jersey. I'm going to go crazy. Probably not going to wear it to like a wedding or a baptism, but rock it to the beach. Rock it to the backyard. You never know. But next question I got, moving right along here. Is this the best? Is Caleb Williams already, I guess the best quarterback in Bears history? Not yet. I think he will be. I think he's probably the most talented. I think that's probably easy to put up there. Jim McMahon, the last other Bear that went to the Pro Bowl, that was in the 80s. So think about it. From the 80s, when I don't think he went in 85, I don't know what year. But from the 80s until, if you could even guess, I'll give you 3 seconds to think who else made it to the Pro Bowl. Mitch Trubisky, guys. So from Jim McMahon to Mitch Trubisky, we didn't have anybody good enough. Then we got Jay Cutler before Mitch. He was pretty talented, never probably lived up to the potential that he had. But Caleb Williams already, man, just has the opportunity to destroy all the rookie records this year. A lot of people are already touting him to get 4,000 passing yards. Some people are saying maybe we're going to have 3 1,000-yard receivers. That's pretty insane. But let's take a look real quick. Bears rookie quarterback records going to be abysmal. All right, so there's actually an article. Shout out to the Draft Network. These are, Caleb Williams can break these records, these Bear records as a rookie. So rookie passing yards, pretty pathetic. And that's not even my language here, but it is pretty pathetic. So Mitch Trubisky holds the current record with 2,193 yards. And Justin Fields, he had 1,870 yards. So these are pretty much within the last 10 years. I think that doesn't even speak necessarily to them being good or them being, holding that record. The NFL now, you just pass the ball. I guarantee you if Trubisky or Fields was playing 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they wouldn't have even been allowed to pass that much. So those speak for themselves. They didn't even get to start that entire season. So, that's actually not too bad, I guess, if you think about it that way. But last year, Stroud had 4,108 yards. Bryce Young had 2,800. Aiden O'Connell, 2,200. So I think it's going to be pretty easy. And it's a 17-game season now. So Caleb Williams definitely probably going to break that rookie passing record in yards, and that'd probably be pretty quick. For rookie passing touchdowns, let's see here. So the current record right now is 11 touchdowns for a rookie, bro. I feel like if we have like a solid 3-game hot streak, he might break that record. So the recent contenders, Fields and Trubisky, they each threw for 7 touchdowns. Kyle Orton and Jim McMahon threw for 9. So as you can see, Bears quarterbacks, what's the best word to describe them besides sucks? Maybe cheeks, maybe horrible. But rookie passing record. So far, rookie passing yards on the Bears, 2,193 yards. Caleb Williams going to smack that. Rookie passing touchdowns, 11 touchdowns. I could say he probably breaks that in like 5 games. Single season passing yards. Let's see. The Bears only organization. We've never even had a 4,000-yard single season passing year. So that's pretty horrible. Our Eric Kramer, I don't even know who that is. I was 2 years old when he set the record with 3,838 yards. So, I mean, bro, looking at these stats, it's honestly pretty sad. And let's see, oh my God. Bears are also the only franchise without a 30 touchdown quarterback. I'm looking at this and I'm 30, so it's a good sample size. It's been fucking brutal to be a Bears fan. We make the playoffs like once every 7 years. It's worse than the Olympics at that point. We don't even have that much to cheer for. We've never had someone throw for 30 touchdowns. I'm the same age as the record right now for how many touchdowns a quarterback has thrown for the Bears. And his name was Eric Kramer, a guy that a TV character is more famous than his own name. 1995, I was 2 years old. This is insane, guys. Single season passing yards, like 3,800. Man, fucking CJ Stroud broke that last year in his rookie season. 11 touchdowns total for a rookie. So, Caleb, those four right there look like they're going down. I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably a solid choice. Probably got to go put some money on FanDuel. Got to see what those odds are looking like, though. But it's not even going to be fair, Caleb. He could be the most mediocre number one pick ever, and he's probably going to break all of those records. But week 2, preseason this Saturday, Bears will be hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. So another chance for us to get an insight into what Caleb Williams is looking like. Is he going to, gel with some of these receivers? How's the offense looking? How's he adjusting at the line? Is he adjusting, making those audibles, checking plays, switching coverages for the offensive line? And that's another interesting thing too. How's the offensive line holding up? They look pretty solid. Does that continue moving forward? What other additions are the Bears going to make? I think we still have some flexibility in order to either trade or bring in somebody. I'm going to say probably on the defensive side. And what's that defense going to look like? Matt Eberflus, defensive coordinator. So, he's got to hold up his end of the bargain, do his thing. But I'm excited, guys. Let me know what you think about the Bears. I know I'm pumped up. Caleb Williams jersey, not getting ordered yet. But let me know what you think about that jersey stuff, too. Because you could buy jerseys if you want. You buy them. Buy them if you want. Don't let anybody tell you what you can do, man. Woo. And besides the Bears, and this all happened on Saturday, guys. Saturday, jam-packed. Caleb Williams' debut. And the second topic, men's Olympic basketball team went out, got that gold medal. They took down France in what ended up being like an absolute classic all-time game. Not necessarily that the game was like super duper close. It was a lot closer, definitely than I anticipated. USA defeated France for the gold medal, 98-87. And man, if you weren't watching the fourth quarter there, you missed out on an absolute show. Steph Curry just put on a performance for the ages, doing things that only Steph Curry could do, making shots that only Steph Curry makes, and just kind of breaking the hearts of France. So it felt good for one time to be on Steph Curry's side. He's been a Golden State Warrior his entire career. All you do is feel his wrath in all those games. So it felt good for once to be cheering on for Steph and actually being like pumped up to see him doing that versus being, a little bit pressed. He was plus 20 for the game. He had 24 points, 5 assists, 2 steals. He was 8 of 13 from the field, 12 of those being 3-pointers, and he made 8 of those. And just shot after shot, dagger after dagger. The iconic shot, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you have, but it's that shot over Batum or over Fournier. LeBron and KD are both on the left side of the court, wide open. Steph just puts that up. Game time, puts him asleep, y'all. It was epic. LeBron also doing his thing. He had 14 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. KD had 15. So really, man, it was the three old heads, the 3 OGs that came out there, held it down for Team USA. 3 of the players that probably faced the most criticism still, the most hate, which I guess that's what you got to expect when they are 3 of the biggest stars that have been around for the longest. You hear that saying all the time. They love to build you up to be a star. Once you've been there too long, they start tearing you down. And it seems like that's what happens for sure to LeBron. He definitely brings a little bit on himself. KD, same. But Steph Curry, too, people like, can he still do it? I mean, he won a couple years ago against the Celtics. Since then, everybody's kind of, put them out. Makes sense. They've lost Klay Thompson. Warriors haven't done much, but this was one of those games, man. Reminded me of like 7-8 years ago when Steph was kind of in that middle of the Warriors' rise. When you still were like, man, how are they doing this? How are him and Klay just shooting the laces off the ball? But he was doing it again. He didn't even come out too hot to start off the Olympics, so he closed it a lot stronger. And, it was really one of those games where you're just never going to forget where you were. I was camping with the fam. We had the hotspot set up. We had the iPad, poolside, having the time of our life, just screaming. I had my Steph Curry jersey, guys, on. I don't even know why I said it like that. I had my Steph Curry jersey on, guys. I was pumped. I was going in, man. And that's the thing, too. Before the Olympics started, I got the notification, Nike Basketball, whoever it was, here's the apparel sale. Check. Got that little Steph Curry jersey. It's a little bit surprising. A lot of people don't realize it, but this was his first ever Olympics. He's like 36 years old. Might be his only Olympics. So I knew that was an instant purchase. Ended up proving right. And like I was saying, he didn't even go that crazy the entire Olympics. So he kind of was getting caught in that room of like, how does he fit in on this team? What does he do? But against Serbia, he pretty much won us the game. 36 points, 12 of 19 from the field, 9 of 14. He almost broke the USA men's basketball record for three-pointers made in a game, set by Carmelo Anthony with 10. But Steph had 9 in this game, and then he had 8. He had 9 against Serbia. That was a classic too. And he had 8 against France. So USA basketball, a lot of people still trying to doubt us. France definitely going to be on the come up with Wemby, arguably already going to be one of the best players in the world, if not going to be the best in the next couple of years. Every other team's on the rise, man. And you can only think what some of these teams might look like if they just had 1 or 2 other players. USA got like a solid 12 all-stars. These guys are playing with a few all-stars, just a couple other dudes that are playing all over the world. But just absolutely amazing games, man. These last 2 games right here, Steph Curry, 36 points, 8 rebounds against Serbia, which was an absolute classic in itself, man. It's crazy to think. I don't even know which game was better. Obviously, the gold medal game, just for the significance of it, holds that weight. But that game against Serbia, guys, that was one of the craziest games I've ever seen. I was at a work conference just trying to check in on my phone while I could. That's the part that sucks. The Olympics is during the day. But USA got down as many, I think, as like 17. We were down 13 or 14 in the fourth quarter. They just kept pushing, and Steph Curry just didn't stop. He had 36 points. He was a plus 20 in that game. And it seemed like we were going to lose, man. Jokic was about to have that storybook type of game. He pretty much came out there by himself. It was going to will that team to victory. Bogdan Bogdanovic was going crazy. He hit Melo with a little 3. I don't know what he was thinking. But Jokic in that game had 17 points. He had 11 assists, 5 rebounds. It did seem that game like everybody was making their threes on Serbia's side. And I forgot what announcer it was, but in that fourth quarter, I don't think it was D-Wade, but somebody on Serbia shot the ball. They started missing those open shots. And, he talked about it. You get to the fourth quarter, all those shots mean a little bit more. You feel them a little bit more in your head. You're thinking about it a little bit more. And a lot of these players outside of Bogdanovic and Jokic have never played against this type of talent, probably never had that type of pressure in a game. They're playing all over the world where maybe they're the best player, where they're not questioning themselves. It's probably the first time where a lot of these other guys that are playing against NBA talent for once in their life are like, man, I don't think I'm pretty nervous. Do we have a chance? And they didn't. USA all the way. That got us back to the gold medal game. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a little bit bigger of a win. We did win by 11 in the gold medal game. And what can you expect, man? France was at home. They had that crowd behind them. It, after all, was the Paris Olympics. They have a solid NBA veterans, too. They got Evan Fournier. You got Nicolas Batum, Frank Ntilikina, who's, I believe, on the Mavericks. So he was just playing some pretty high-level basketball. Rudy Gobert. Low-key didn't really play that much. And then Victor Wembanyama. I know there's a couple guys who I think it's Gershon Yabusele, if that's how you say it. I was seeing on Twitter today he's already getting looked at by a couple NBA teams like the Cavs. So, France was solid, man, and they're not scared. You get that home field, that home court edge. They were just nonstop coming back and forth. But how do you put up with Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry on the same exact team? Those last couple of games, I think Steph finally just said, like, forget it. I'm shooting it. Maybe played a little bit more outside of the flow of the offense. And I know it sounds crazy. This might be a little bit of a hot take, but I think LeBron James is also, obviously, he's like a reason we won. A lot of people want to say that. Good stats, per usual. But I also think he's the reason, I think LeBron's the reason a lot of these games were this close. So you watch the Lakers. I watch the NBA, obviously. Sorry. But I watch, you watch the Lakers. They dribble the ball out. LeBron just comes down. You got to play that LeBron pace. You need shooters around him. So it kind of makes sense why Steph's playing, why KD's out there, why Booker's starting. And then it makes sense why Tatum's not really playing, because Tatum, which was his own controversy in itself, he's not really a spot-up shooter. He's not necessarily the fastest decision maker. Tatum, in his own way, needs the ball like LeBron does. So it kind of felt like, LeBron, obviously the stats are always there. He's a great player, probably the best player we've ever seen at this age, at this stage in his career. But the way his style of play, it seems to slow down all the younger players. Like Ant Edwards didn't really have those flashes out there. Obviously, Jason Tatum really didn't get the chance to do a lot of that. Steph Curry, for most of the Olympics until these last couple of games, was even kind of hindered in himself. And it's a little bit weird because it's hard to like look at LeBron play, like I'm sure play with him and not think like, let's give this guy the ball, but he slows the game down so much, man. And for these other players, they're just kind of standing there. They're doing whatever has been happening since LeBron's had a team, 4 out, pick and roll. And don't get me wrong, he still makes those brilliant passes, all those brilliant plays, but overall, it seems like that just kind of mucks up the team. Things get slow. He doesn't play defense. I know he had a good block yesterday. I know he's got stats. But if you watch the game, he genuinely is not playing that hard on defense. So many times he gets back cut. So many times he doesn't fight over the screen. And I mean, that's what you expect when he's 39. But also, it's a little bit hard when you're on the wing doing that at 39. So some of the plays, some of the threes against like a Serbia, they're not getting out, running out there. Little things like that where the younger guys can do that. And I get it. He probably did give us the best chance to win because you look around, it was going to be a tough. And I don't know with these younger guys, who is that dog? I mean, besides KD, Steph, LeBron, I get it. Tatum won, but the Boston Celtics were one of the most loaded teams ever in a season where a lot of injuries happen in the Eastern Conference. So let's not even get into that conversation. Celtics won. Tatum got his ring. Didn't get Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Didn't get Finals MVP. Didn't even get burned with Team USA. So tough luck for him. But, some of these young guys got to step up. They got to take the reins. And we'll see how that goes in 2028. It's going to probably be a completely different looking team. I highly doubt like a 43-year-old LeBron's going to play. And it's better to go out like this on gold. Kevin Durant probably won't play. Steph Curry maybe has a chance to play, but you would think some of these younger guards are going to be kind of clamming to get out there and play for Team USA. But just an epic, epic game. It was great, and I saw something too where it talked about we're seeing Kevin Durant, LeBron, and Steph probably in some of the last meaningful games that they're going to play in. So it sucks to think about that, but right now the Lakers, the Warriors, the Suns, I don't think anybody, maybe the Suns because they've made some good changes, but the other two, Lakers, Warriors right now, I don't think anybody sees them as even making like the second round of the playoffs unless there's some changes made. So hopefully it's not the last time we see these guys playing some meaningful basketball because obviously they still got it in them. But if it is the last time we see them in some of these big games, man, some of the best memories we're going to have. KD hitting that sealer against Serbia at the top elbow. Steph Curry hitting the step back three over Fournier and Batum. Hitting the other three in the corner. He just looked away, man. It's the type of highlights you see in the future, and you never forget. You shed a little moment. You shed a little tear. You hold your hand high. You do the Pledge of Allegiance. You remember where you from, boy. The U.S. of A. USA. Let's go. Never forget that, man. And it's crazy. America. And with the overall Olympics, we actually let's take a look at that too. Because shout out to the women too. Shout out to the women's team. They actually also defeated France in the gold medal game. They only ended up winning by one because one of the last second shot by one of the French guards, her toe was on the line. So they cut it to one. It would have been three. But man, it was just a great showing for basketball. The 3-on-3 is even starting to get some love. And there's even controversy going on with the 3-on-3 team. You know, people are saying, why can't we send NBA players? Why does the Olympics tell us who we could send to the 3-on-3? And I know Ice Cube from the Big Three challenged. I think Netherlands won the 3v3 for men. So he's issued a challenge for them to play against the Big Three champs. Supposedly Netherlands accepted it, but that supposedly FIBA is trying to not allow that game to happen. So I looked into some of the qualifying. You do got to qualify through tournaments, play through different qualifying events. So some people say that's probably why NBA players wouldn't be able to do it. Their schedule doesn't line up to do that. But maybe get some other G League guys, somebody, man. I mean, I think it'd be cool because no way we should be losing even a 3-on-3, man. And I know it's a different game. Some of my friends are talking about that, cardio, yada, yada, yada. But, man, you put 3 hustlers from the NBA, we're going home with gold. It's a guarantee. But let's take a look real quick. Gold medals. So, yeah, USA men and women don't win that. We would have lost the gold medal count. USA finished with 40 gold, 44 silver, 42 bronze. China tied us with 40 gold. They only had 27 silver and 24 bronze. So, U.S., we still won. What can we say, guys? Whatever. 126 total medals, 40 gold. We're still the best. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the government's doing or what their decisions are. Citizens here, we're the best, y'all. Y'all can't rock with us. Basketball. Anything you see out there. 126 medals. And maybe you might say I didn't earn a medal, but I paid taxes, and I'm sure my taxes went towards some of that. So I'm going to take 0.01% of a gold medal and get it tatted. We gone. But we're back, y'all. Unlimited characters. Stay tuned. New episode dropping. Another one this week. We're trying to get back to the 2 episodes per week. I do start up some work travel again. I travel for different stuff for work. Got to hit up different parts of the country. So might miss a couple episodes in a month or 2, but we're locking in, y'all. Stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to probably go back to a little bit more of those random topics, not necessarily sports and Bears and Cubs and all of that jazzy stuff. We're not even going to talk baseball. Those Cubs are, sorry, Cubbies. But Kayla Williams, Bears, men's Olympic basketball. What else do you need on a Saturday while the summer's coming to a close? Start getting pumped up. Fantasy's on its way. Fantasy football, not whatever fantasy you're thinking about. Fantasy football's back. Everything's coming back. Fall, everything's in tune. House of Dragons is over. The Boys is over. Tune in, y'all. There's nothing else to watch out there. You need to be locked into unlimited characters entertainment. All right? This is what notes are. But stay golden, y'all. Subscribe, comment, like. Let me know what you think. Deuces.